Yo, peace and love. Negus and love. Almighty to the body. Hotel, all of that good stuff. So it's like this. Every blue moon, every eon, or every other few moments in between, I feel the need to remind people, remind ones how visionary leaders are, how their page or how their program, quote unquote, came into being. All of that good stuff. So, 2014, October, probably was a weekend on like the 14th or something like that. My brother had got killed. He was running around like on that gang stuff. Originally, my background, we originally from Albany, Georgia. Moved to Atlanta. Started moving and all of that good stuff around. So, even with me coming into Atlanta, I ended up going to college and all of that. Went to this school by the name of the Art Institute. I received a degree in interactive media and web design. So I was good at doing website, flyers. I was doing camera work, video work. I was even messing around with the music. Long story short, even in Albany, like, some point we almost, quote unquote, almost ended up catching a RICO, and pretty much the reason how we ended up moving to Atlanta. And almost getting caught up on a RICO early on. But going back to, I just had to tie all of that in for my background being a web and graphic designer and all of that good stuff. So, 2014, my brother got killed on some, dealing with some gang stuff, all of that. It really broke me down. It broke me down to the point that I was thinking my mom was on retaliation. My mom was on hold in a whole bunch of different spaces because we didn't really know where it came from, how it happened, what was going on. I ended up finding, seeing this flyer promoting this event about a Stop the Violence rally. I think it was on Old Nash. It was like 2015, early on. And I reached out to the person that I seen sharing the flyer. And I ended up coming to the event, took some camera footage, all of that good stuff. We definitely refreshed, because we did like a march rally on some Black Power type of thing. Marching and like had a little signs on some Stop the Violence, Stop the Gang Violence. It was a wonderful presentation. It definitely gave me solace in that moment that I needed at that time. So I'm looking for the brother that I reached out to as far as with the who had put together the program, who had that I reached out to letting them know I was coming out there. And I'm looking for him. I'm like, wow. And then it crazy, just ironic. The brother they ended up reading a letter from their brother, kind of find out he was locked up. And that was just, especially, it kind of changed my way of focusing on things. Like, here you got somebody that locked up. They created that whole movement from behind the wall, kind of like from a coalition thing. Because it was a lot of GD, but you had different other organizations out there, from Peace Stone to Lord to everything. So I ended up becoming involved with Pop's movement. This program, we had like a radio show that it touched a lot of cities in the state in the country, from Chicago, from Mississippi, from Dakotas, like the radio station. So even at that time, 2015, 2016, I'm talking about, we interviewing people on these different stations. I had like a program, and that, quote unquote, I was doing a lot of flyers, artwork, and ended up doing the website for the program. But we were interviewing people of the likes of like Benny Lee, Wallace Gator, Bradley, I think even they had, what's the brother that came on, Free Ray, Ricky Ross, like, interviewing like Dunk, Boosie, Cousin, like a lot of these different people. And increasing and expanding my network, dealing with people. So at the, I guess you can say the decline of that movement, a lot of brothers that were part of the movement ended up going separate ways, in a sense, creating their own type of movement. Out of this movement, I created visionary leaders. I was thinking, okay, I seen how that worked. Maybe I can create something to bring my own team together, bring the Lords together. That's where visionary leader came from at that earlier inception in 2016. Even if you look at the page, that when the page and program came into being in 2016. We were doing a radio show, doing a program, doing flyers, even indulging the marches and bringing people together. I was on some trying to unify the brothers and sisters of the nation. And at that time, everything was from a digital space. And in the same process, I ended up getting involved with the organization called Ethiopian World Federation. That was like on the path of my Rasta background. Like I do claim to be Rastafari to the point that I was baptized in the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, given the name of Test Father Selassie, meaning the hope of the Trinity. Also, by the way, have a Holy Divine Day. But in the program, I ended up building my own local, striving to build my own local here in Georgia. I learned, so these two organizations, Part Movement, and now we're talking about Ethiopian World Federation. I got a lot of, I guess you can say, tools from these two. I got the streets and the community service type of understanding from what I got from Part Movement. Then from the Ethiopian World Federation, I got the international spiritual foundation type of movement from that program. And I went back to the drawing board. I ended up revamping the idea of visionary leaders, because in a lot of these marches and rallies that I went to, the conversation kept cycling back around to economics. And I even heard the minister say, you can't help nobody until you feeding them first, or they ain't gonna be inclined to want to hear what you're saying till their stomach get full where they can hear you. So that when I revamped the program of visionary leaders to focus on the economic side of our youth and our community. That's where we was at the time. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know people were feeling some type of way, like dealing with the politics, that's how people are. And I had so many ways revitalize or re-envision how I saw it going forward, even with the program, because I was trying to be all-inclusive of everything under the umbrella. Man, I started hearing the jam band spoke on my name, like I'm trying to do this and that, like, and that wasn't never the case. I just told you back in Auburn, we almost dealt with something we almost called a RICO family. And that was in the youth. What saved me just being 16, that at 16, unless you commit something like felony or murder or something like that, a lot of times that don't stick on your jacket. It get wiped away with juvenile charges. So all of that stuff what I did in my dirty, and that happened when I was a juvenile. Thank God that moving along, I ain't catching in with it affected my, I guess you can say, adult or adolescent year too much, too catastrophic, where I can move forward to do what I needed to do just to sustain a way of living. So that's my focus. I wasn't never trying to do any of a lot of brothers speaking their gender or now. At the same time, I'm a real one. And I ain't finna play it like on certain instances. So going forward, that's where we was at, like, with the program. What I learned, like, dealing with brother, and the balance or the understanding that I brought, even with putting the visionary leaders together. I took the piece out of the demo, like, I'm striving to be the best for myself, my family, my community, and then the nation live. You got a lot of individuals that try to jump straight into trying to do for the nation. Like, it's a statement. You never ask what the nation can do for me. You ask what you can do for the nation. So if you don't take care of yourself, or you don't take care of your family, or you went through that proper step, you're not in a position where you can benefit or be of some source of help to the nation. You just working backwards. And that's what I had to realize. So, and learning all that right now, y'all that follow the page or follow where I'm at, in my daily life, I'm teaching education. I'm teaching on public school system. And I'm just learning how the system is. I ain't just talking about the jail system. I'm learning how the system when we're dealing with education. I'm realizing there's a lot of our people in our community, they can barely read or write. Graduation rate at an all-time low. People ain't striving to be nothing, want to do further in life no more. And that's a problem, like, when we looking into the future generation. The goal was always get your money right then, take care of your family, or take care of your people. The way it looking like, people trying to be away the education system, way everything set up. We creating a situation where our future, you gonna be dependent on us to take care of them. And you got us taking care of the elders. So it's like, this situation is not gonna be sustainable. It's not gonna work. So it's on us to put together some type of plan or some type of idea just within our own individual life. How can we better help the youth, better help the community? Are we just killing each other left and right? Youth ain't got no aspiration or even to be great. At least the elders, when I was coming up, were like, man, be better than me. If you do this, you know what I'm saying, this will put you in a situation to be better for the rest of your life. We got so many people living in the moments. And that's a problem, because you get stuck in these moments. You thinking life is a game, like you only live once. Life is a lifetime. Like, the part of the hustle is to create something that you can sustain a living for a lifetime, where you ain't got to work later on in life. Work hard now, play hard later. Now we preaching the idea that we putting out. It's like, we want everything right now, and we ain't just gonna work. And I ain't just talking about getting a job. I'm just talking about putting in the work to be better, ensuring in front of your future. And part of that, like, that's why I started when I started with the merchandise. From the clothing merchandise, from the pendants and all of that. I kind of built on a lot of stuff that I seen came before me. I just had a different exposure to how that became, I guess you can say in a sense, went viral. That all to do with me understanding business, me understanding marketing, me understanding branding. I'm able to make do something different that a lot of regular people couldn't do, due to my education, due to what I know. And it's like they say, it ain't about what you know, but who you know. But the cliff note to that a lot of people don't realize is that what you know connects you to who you know. That's the reality. So what we going forward with Visionary Leader, we focusing a lot more on the you. What can we do to better the you? What can we do to ensure that they got a future, ensure that they don't trick themselves out these streets. And what we do to make sure that they make better decisions so they can take care of themselves for their whole lifetime. But I leave as I can. I come as I am. Almighty, long live King Negus.